feel on the outskirts and has to and feels kind of like on edge at all time. If you give him an ally like Christos and Christos's people, you're kind of taking that away from Negan. You're giving him more protection. He's supposed to feel uneasy. Negan is supposed to feel
too comfortable.
Exactly.
Yep.
So I understand writing wise why they got rid of Christos.
For sure.
It just sucks that they did it.
That's a great way of putting it. You understand it, but it sucks. Speaking of folks with the first name C, let's talk about the Croat this episode. My mans. I don't know what they tried to paint him as in season 1, but I'm loving his performance. I'm loving the character. What are you thinking of the Croat so far?
So I love what they've been doing the past couple episodes in that making him feel unappreciated, making him feel like he's the redheaded stepchild of everything, because it kind of, again, this goes back to a prediction I made earlier on this season, and that when I said I feel like Negan is going to use the Croat and the Dama against each other. And that's exactly what happens this episode.
Played him like fiddles.
He
ironically, rest in peace, Victor.
And I mean, and it takes the Croat coming into that meeting with Christos, going back to Christos for a second, coming in and killing all of them using the methane, but also using Negan as a pawn. So
Negan almost died, and I don't think they played that up well enough. Like, Negan was in that room just as much as Christos was, so they should have put a gas mask on him a lot faster than they did, I thought.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. I'm like
Jesus, are you killing him?
You let him get a little too close to death,
or is that just the Croat?
Well, and that's what I think. I think that was the Croat being like, he knows that it's the Dama who's pulling Negan in and showing favor to Negan. That's the Dama doing that. It's not Negan doing it. But I still feel not, I don't know if intimidated or what's the word I'm looking
Emboldened?
for? Maybe. Like, I still don't like Negan for it either. Right. Resentment. I still resent Negan for it, even though it's not Negan's fault. So I'll punish him a little bit.
Yep.
And that's like, he lets him inhale that methane a little too long. But that's the Croat's way of, that's his way of dealing with the resentment he has at Negan.
Yep. I like that. I like that. And I thought the way that Negan played him was a little bit too obvious and a little bit too easy. And it surprised me about the Croat, because I think the show wants us to think he's stupid, and I think he's very smart. I really do.
Croat.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I think the show wants us to think he's a hot-headed, belligerent, silly person because he's got a funny accent, but I think he's a lot smarter than the show's been giving us credit for, and I think that's intentional. Like, I don't know. I expect big things from him. I don't think he's going anywhere anytime soon.
I mean, and here's again, you've got the glimpse of the future that I don't. But the way this episode wraps with Negan actually turning the Croat on the Dama, I feel like Negan does that intentionally, and I feel like obviously one way or another, either way, it works out.
Yeah.
It works out in Negan's favor.
Yep. If
they come to blows and the Dama has the Croat killed, because she's not going to do it herself. She's going to have the Croat killed. She's either going to have Negan do it or she's going to have somebody else do it.
Yep.
If that happens, then Negan is now her right hand. Mm-hmm. And he moves up in the ranks. And that works out in Negan's favor. If the Croat kills the Dama, which is what ends up happening, he feels, because he's been above the Croat before, if he was able to influence the Croat to do this, then the Croat is impressionable and he can do that. But I don't think that's what's going to happen. I think Negan is going to have an even harder time now, because the Croat is going to be harder to control.
Oh, okay. So the Joffrey of it all.
I think because remember when they initially started talking about the Croat in season 1, he said that this guy was so hard to control that they tried to have him killed.
Yep.
Like they tried to kill him. It was their only way of getting him under control was to kill him, and even that didn't work. So I feel like without the Dama being that mother-like person that kind of subdues him, you've just unleashed a beast.
But does his obvious adoration, I mean, fanboy to the extreme of Negan, will that make him the ultimate lapdog, or do you think he's going to come for the top dog? Like, I just he loves Negan and adores Negan so much, and is so beholden to Negan's every women need that, like, I don't know. What do you think of that?
I don't think he is as much though, because remember, let's go back to the whole Christos meeting. If the Croat still had that admiration for Negan, he would not have let him sit in that methane for as long as he did.
He also wouldn't have shown him up in the middle of that meeting.
Yes, I think Croat has lost a little bit of that admiration for Negan.
Okay, I needed to hear that. Thank you. That was good.
So I think, again, I think Negan has unintentionally released a beast. That you've basically kind of how we talked about with Victor, going back to Victor, how music soothes the savage beast. Dama was the music to the Croat.
Yeah.
The music stopped.
Yeah.
And now there's nothing there to keep him under control.
I can't wait to see where it goes from here.
And I think with you throw that element into the fact that Christos's people are gone, and well, the men are gone. Croat did leave the women and children alive. He didn't kill them, which honestly was a worry of mine.
Do you
during that scene? I do.
I do too. I do too. I read some things online where people were like, yeah, if you believe, I think he does at least look up to Negan enough to know where he crossed the line too hard last time. And like, that was literally his pet the dog moment of like, I didn't kill the women and children. I've learned just the soldiers.
And even going to like a writer's perspective, if you wanted us to believe that the women and children are dead too, then all you had to do was say nothing.
Yep. That's true. That's a great point.
The fact that they said that he kept the women and children alive is meant to imply, yes, the women and children are, because otherwise we're just going to have assumed they were dead too.
Or they're setting us up for a reveal later of, oh, the Croat actually is an evil bastard. Like they go back to that house and they're all walkers. It's like, damn it. He did kill them all.
That's a good point too.
So who knows? I'm excited to see. I think you're right. I think it was just no, I didn't kill the women and children. And I think that's where it's going to go from here. But be fascinating to know if his people do show up again. I'm trying to think. Is there any? So should we talk about the demise of the Dama while we're on this world?
Well, hold on. I just need to finish my point from before.
Please.
I feel like we're setting up an interesting dynamic because the Dama is gone, as we're going to discuss in a minute. But you throw that in with the fact that the Croat is probably going to be unleashed. There's nothing there to rein him in, combined with the fact that he no longer has an ally in Christos and his people because they're gone, and Brogel, as I'm going to call him.
Loving it.
Brogel very clearly is not siding with these people.
Brogel's on Brogel's side.
Brogel is on Brogel's side, and that's a good way to put it. So there's a lot of combustive elements that are really igniting right now, that as much as I had problems with this episode, I'm really, really, really curious how they're going to wrap up this season with the next 3.
And that was how I left this episode. I was very frustrated with how this episode played out. But at the end of the day, I was like, all right, I see the board in front of me and I don't hate that. And then like, again, knowing a bit of the future, like we're okay. So it was a very interesting situation.
Yeah, I see the pieces on the board and where they're going. I don't like the path you took to get there.
Yes. Yeah. We meandered for a hard minute and we wasted a whole lot of time finding chocobos. Like, okay, we can do better.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm looking forward to where they're going.
For sure.
I'm just not crazy. I'm just not. I don't understand why they got off at this off ramp when you could have gone down a little further.
Let's just go into it then. Why is the Dama off the board? Why did they take this delightful, psychotic, powerful, intellectual beast off of the board so fast? We got what, 8 episodes with her at the end of the day? Like, she was amazing and she's gone. Why?
We didn't even get 8. We got 5.
Well, we got the last episode of last season.
So 6.
So still, I can't do math. Sorry, guys. Psych major, remember? So why do we waste so much time on the Dama when she never mattered, apparently?
So I do have a prediction about this.
Please.
I feel like of all the things that this is going to be affecting, obviously, to get rid of the Dama on one hand is to release the chaos of the Croat. But I think the bigger reason why you had to take the Dama off the board, or the reasoning for taking her off the board, is because of Herschel.
Okay.
I feel like this is going to play into Herschel's story. Something's going to happen where Herschel is going to find out that the Dama is dead. And I don't know what exactly it's going to be, but I just have this weird feeling this is going to unlock something within Herschel. Like, he is going to react to this. I don't know how he's going to react to it. I don't know if I'm going to like how he's going to react to it. Because as many people have said, Herschel's story is one of the most intriguing things we've been getting from this season. And I feel like we've only scratched the surface of it. I feel like the Dama's death and Herschel finding out, whatever his reaction is to it, is what's really going to hit the accelerator on Herschel's story and where it's going. I
was amazed that Herschel told Maggie about the Dama's experience and pull on him, etc. And then the Dama died, and I was like, what the hell was any of this for? I am very intrigued to see who, what, how, because by him telling Maggie about the Dama, it speaks to me as if he was already giving up on her influence, her piece of it, etc. Now, I think that she dropped the nugget and instructed him that the new world is the world worth saving, but I felt getting rid of her so early really deprives the audience of really good storytelling and good opportunities. Now, I'm going to trust the showrunners, and I'm going to trust that even with her off the board, they know what they're doing. But I'm sad to see her go. I really enjoyed the Dama. I thought she was a delightful brand of crazy. But I'm going to trust the showrunners that they know what they're doing. I am.
Okay. I mean, that's totally fair. My biggest fear right now is that somehow they're going to, and I really hope it doesn't happen, and I'm hoping it doesn't, let's not make Herschel the villain.
I don't think it will. I think he's going to be complicated. I think because of, and honestly, this might even be a credit to Logan Kim. I think he's going to be one of the more complicated characters in Walking Dead history, but it's going to be compelling and it's going to be really, really, really good. I think he's going to be conflicted. And he, as an actor, he's totally got the chops to pull it off.
100%.
And as a character, he has every plot device needed to go down that path. And I think they are kind of telegraphing to us like, hey, this is going to be the story that we follow. And I think he's going to crush it. So I'm very excited for what this is going to do for Herschel / Logan Kim, etc.
Yeah, I'm curious because I know like clearly from where we stand at the end of this episode, I know you've already looked ahead, but like at the end of this episode, we're down to two key players now. We have Negan and the Croat, who are now going to probably take over the we'll take over the Dama's element of Manhattan. And we have Brogel, who now also has Maggie, Negan, and Pearlie. So, because he's the one that knocks on the door after they kind of get the rest after the whole nature element thing. And we're down to two. We had four in the beginning of this episode.
Yep.
We had four elements. We had the Dama, we had Brogel, we had Christos, and we had Roxana.
Yep.
We've eliminated two of them. And, now we're down to two. If we're at a point in the season where they can't introduce another one. Like we're with the two that we have now.
Yes.
These are the two elements that are going to be going head to head by the end of this season.
Amen.
And it's now a power dynamic is who's going to be controlling the city. Is it going to be the Croat and Negan? Or is it going to be Brogel?
And New Babylon.
Well, I feel like by getting rid of Lucia, we've kind of eliminated New Babylon from the equation.
I'm intrigued because we've never known the structure of New Babylon. Does it stop at governor or is there a president? We don't know the power structure of New Babylon, and I'm fascinated to see because I'm not convinced that we've seen the last of their structure in their world. I don't know.
I mean, in the coming attractions for this week's episode, there is a scene with Brogel and Pearlie talking, and he does say, "I can get you the methane." So maybe through that, we're going to reestablish New Babylon as to a potential element of this whole thing. But I feel like Pearlie, that's not important to Pearlie anymore.
Okay.
I could be totally wrong.
Okay. I'm excited to find out.
You already know.
I'm excited to find out how things shape up, Ben, because I'm just a guy living in the moment. In a time, I'm living in Jeremy Bearimy, baby. I'm in the dot of the eye because this timeline this week is all funky.
Got it. So yeah, there's a lot of elements that are still keeping me hooked in, keeping me interested. But as podcasters, we're not going to stop covering a show halfway through a season.
No,
what is this? Fear the Walking Dead?
Folks, I am still podcasting on the Philadelphia Phillies. They have lost like 11 out of the last 12, and I'm still going to do a show on Thursday. So it's what we signed up for, and we watch 162, so you don't have to, or at least that's our tagline. So let's talk a little bit about the folks in Central Park. How do you feel about the denouement, the resolution of the New Babylon story? Like, where are you at with all of what happened there? How do we even start that conversation?
The resolution of the New Babylon story, meaning Lucia biting the dust, or not biting the dust, she got bit.
Dust biting her. Just how it all played out. So, all right, Pearlie and Maggie come back, and they're seen immediately as traitors because the Central Park people will not bow to the Death Star. Okay, Navarez is just on power trip to the extreme. And how did you feel about Ginny's heel turn? Like, what went through your mind at that moment that Ginny pulled the gun on Herschel?
I'm still not. I'm still not completely, decided on Ginny.
Okay.
I still don't believe that Negan is the man she is after.
Okay.
When I talked about this a couple episodes back, when she says when Lucia said like, "You're here to kill the man who killed your father," or when Ginny said that to her, like, "I'm here to kill the man that killed my father," she never names a name.
I think she wants answers. I think she just wants to know what happened. Personally, that's my guess, is that she just wants to know why. Because I think she knows her dad was a dick.
Yeah, and I think she looked at Negan as a father figure. And that's why I think she's here for somebody else. Mm-hmm. She's here for whoever she blames for the assumed death of Negan.
Right.
Not for Negan killing her father. I feel like she looks at Negan as a father figure because he did protect her. He took her in, fixed her dinosaur, all of that. And I just don't know who that person is. It could be the Croat. It could be Pearly. But she had opportunity to kill Pearly, so I don't think it's Pearly.
I think she is a very conflicted 13-year-old kid, and I really like the actress's performance, and I really hope only good things happen to her and she continues, because she's really complicated and really compelling, and she has said a total of, I think, 16 words on this entire series, but she has been fascinating to follow and watch. I love her. I love her to pieces.
I agree. I mean, and now, by the end of this whole thing with the nature people and Roxana's people, and we have pretty much the 4 people left who have plot armor, and it's
I wrote that note down. Plot armor. That's fantastic.
It's plot armor. I mean, we had all these people in an entire culture of nature people: Roxana, Lucia, all the other New Babylon people that survived and were with them. Everybody's gone except for Maggie, Pearly, Herschel, and Ginny.
Yep.
4 people with plot armor. They're the people who survived everything.
Add to that Negan, Croat, and Brogel, and that's everybody. That's the entire board after how many episodes now? That's the entire board that we're left with after all the shit we've been through for 13 episodes or however many it's been. That's where we're at.
Yeah, we wiped the Dama off the board. We wiped Roxana off the board.
Christos is gone.
Wiped Lucia off the board.
Yep.
Christos is off the board.
And all of their people. All of their people are also gone. All of the New Babylonians, all of the Christophians, all of the village people, like, they're all gone. It's amazing. How they cleared the board so swiftly in one episode was phenomenal, I guess. I don't know.
But we have to remember too that we know that there are still people in this city other than these people. Christos's people are still alive. The women, the children are still alive. They're going to need protection, which is where I think down the road towards the end of this season, I said it from last season, that at some point Negan is going to be the king of Manhattan.
I want it so bad. Damn it, Ben. I know there are so many people out there that don't want to see the Lucille swinging Negan, but I think it's such a more compelling character beat for him to struggle with going into savior mode, saving people, doing what needs to be done to save the people that he is supposed to save. Like, I want to see him struggle with that instead of just constantly playing I need to be saved, but like whatever is going on now, I want him to struggle with the decision of how to be good and save people when he doesn't know how to do both at the same time. Like, that's more compelling storytelling to me.
I do get that, but I'm going to go back to my prediction before, in that I see Negan running Manhattan differently. I see Manhattan being such a big enough place that Negan will consider Manhattan a safe haven. Like, anybody who needs safe haven can come to Manhattan.
It is sanctuary.
It is a different kind of sanctuary, though, from before.
Oh, that's good. I love
Manhattan becomes a new sanctuary, but an actual sanctuary.
Oh, no, that's not just hell.
Not just a sanctuary for his people, for anybody.
And the fascinating thing about Manhattan is all you have to do is go out and clear out the walkers that have developed, and you now have more methane. Like, there's a great reason to kill every walker you come across, because every walker you come across is about to become fuel.
Well, and not only that, but we know that from season 1, the walkers that they capture on top of the streets are a small percentage because they early on put them down in the sewer system.
Yep.
There's almost an endless amount of fuel and zombies. Because what's the population of New York? I mean, it's ridiculous.
I don't know. I would guesstimate 1 trillion, but I don't know much.
It's not
data.
that high.
I don't know census data, but I'm going to guess 2 trillion then.
Population of New York City currently 8.25 million people.
I was not off by much.
And you figure a small percentage of that are survivors.
True.
So you figure even if 1 million people survived, which we know is not the case, it's probably maybe a couple hundred people survived. You're talking an endless source of fuel, or at least a source of fuel that will last long enough for you to develop another kind of fuel.
Yep.
And reestablish New York City as a sanctuary.
It's exciting to see what's going to happen, what's going to go.
I'm probably speaking totally out of my ass.
No, there's no way of knowing, and you got to give them credit for keeping us guessing. They're doing some stuff with storytelling that is frustrating us, but we are not entirely sure what's happening next, and that is why folks are listening. Well, that and they love listening to our coverage, but also because it's not entirely convinced what's happening next. I think that's good.
There might be listeners out there who are thinking maybe I want that's making Negan too much of a hero.
Right.
And he doesn't deserve, like he hasn't earned that because of his past. And you're right. He probably hasn't earned it. I don't know. That might be too hopeful of a thing to think in that he turns it into something good.
I forgave Ben Linus. I can.
Me too.
Anyone. I can forgive anyone. If you can forgive Benjamin Linus, you can find it in your heart.
Ben Linus didn't have a harem, and
I mean that's only because he was Ben Linus. I mean, if he was built like Jack, he would have had a harem. Jack had a harem actually, but that's neither here nor there. Is there anything that we're missing from this episode? Are there any? I feel like I've covered everything I wanted to go over. How about you?
Yeah, it seemed like the discussion was pretty broad, but it not broad in the sense of that we had all these different points to cover. There really were only just a couple points to cover,
right,
in this episode. I'm looking at I really haven't looked at my notes at all.
No, we've just been kind of riffing on it.
Yeah, exactly. We have. Going back to Roxana's death and that whole scene, we do see that Ginny actually is the one that saves Maggie.
Yes.
Maggie is hanging from the noose. She's
just
the
like
chair has
comics.
Been kicked out. And Ginny is the one that places the chair under her. She saves her. She could have let her die, but she doesn't. So
I don't think she was ever mad at Maggie. I think she just she never wanted Maggie to die. And I think that's when she realized that by pointing the gun at Herschel, she was sentencing Maggie to die. She had a really big oh shit moment, and that's what made her turn against Navarez.
Yeah, I could see that too. We got early on that the Dama wanted to go back on her deal with Negan about bringing, she wanted him to do one thing for Amy and Josh to come in, and now she wants more out of him in order for that deal to come through. Let's see. Lucia knows the truth. Oh, yeah. We didn't talk about that Lucia actually knows the truth that Negan is alive.
And what does that matter, Ben? What does any
Not
of that
a damn
matter?
Thing.
Exactly. That's why I didn't bring it up, because who gives a shit? She is taking that to the grave.
Yeah.
That pissed me off. Who cares?
Because she ends up arresting Pearlie and Maggie to bait Negan to come in and save them, and none of that ever happens.
She's the dumbest crook of all time. Like her whole plan. Oh, okay, Maggie, here's what you do: go to Negan, tell him and the Croat to surrender to us, and then I'll let you free, or I'll kill your son. Like, oh my god, that's a terrible plan. That's never going to work. Are you serious? Worst hostage negotiator ever.
You are in a city that is that big where these people have been living.
It's an away game.
if these nature people have shown you anything, the fact that you were willing to come in and take control of them means nothing. It gave her such a false sense of power that she could come in and take over people who were living in nature, not realizing that everybody else out there had methane, had cars, have guns, have power. Like, you thought just because you can control a small little stipend of 20 to 30 like nature crunchy people,
right,
that you could win in New York City?
Unreal.
Like, that is absolutely ridiculous.
Horrible leadership.
It is. God, and the fact that she would think that, like, yeah, go bring Negan to us and we'll have the high ground. No, you won't. You're an idiot.
I thought that character had such an opportunity for complexity, for layers, and the writing never gave it the opportunity. It really didn't. And I wanted so much more from that character, and it never came. And that's a shame, because a lot of people really enjoyed the actress, and I wish she would have had more to work with, but what can you do, I guess?
Yeah, I mean, and I want to make that known too, that all of this talk about her is nothing against Dasha. Dasha is character only. Dasha is an amazing actress. Yes. She can only do so much with what she's given.
And you can tell the stage notes on the page, and that Dasha was doing what was on the page. It was just a poorly written character. She acted the hell out of it. She did the best that she could with what she was given. I give the roses for that.
Yeah, exactly. So it was just, you're right. Like, I don't get what the point of that character was.
Nope.
Looking at my notes, there was one element of this episode that confused the hell out of me.
The chuckle has me excited. Go on.
There's the scene where Maggie gets free of everything and then comes back in to find Roxana and Pearlie in the fridge.
And why?
And she opens the door to let them escape. But when Pearlie says, "You're not going to be able to do this alone," she locks them back in the fridge.
Thank God.
Why?
You said something. I did not understand the logic of that scene.
No.
One iota. Like, both times I watched it, like, it was going down, and then it happens. I'm like, wait, why? And then it just kept going, and you just accept it for what it is, because it's a fast-paced episode. But thank you for saying something, because, yeah, what the hell was the logic behind that? None.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, why did you open the door and tell him to come with you, and then when he turns you down, you lock him in?
Lock him in. Or is it so?
What was the point of that?
I don't know, but God damn it, Maggie.
I don't know.
Killing me.
Let's see. Roxana's death we talked about. So there are a couple more things. And this is more Negan, Croat, Dama by the end. We see that Negan is trying to appeal to the Croat. Mm-hmm. He's trying to say, why do you let her treat you this way? She's treating you like the redheaded stepchild. Like, you are better than this. Why do you let her step all over you? And like, she treats a fucking rat better than she treats you. And I do feel like this is Negan trying to appeal to the Croat before any drastic measure even has to be taken. And it comes down to the Croat confronting the Dama. Now, I will admit, when I watched that scene where the Croat knocks on the door and she doesn't answer, I thought she was already dead.
Oh, shit.
I thought, like, okay, something happened. She died.
I mean, like, that's fair. When there's no answer at the door, you tend to believe that there's no occupants inside.
Well, because my brain went down a different path, because we get that whole confrontation between the Croat and the Dama where he finally confronts her, and he even says that to her, like, you treat a rat better than you treat me. And there's a part of me that looks at her and says, she actually looks heartbroken about all this, that her relationship with the Croat is fractured right now. So there was a part of me that when we get a little bit later, when he goes down and he knocks on her door and there's no answer, I'm like, did she kill herself? Like, was she that broken about all of this? And then the door opens and she's still alive. And then now there's this argument and there is a physical confrontation. And she is lit on fire and she burns to death. We do learn something in this scene we have not gotten all series.
What's that? Oh, Mile.
The Croat's real name.
Mile.
Mile.
That's a great name. That is a fantastic name. Mile.
And it is actually a very powerful moment.
Yes, it is.
Because she is calling for help and she's calling him by his actual name. But we've never really heard her address him anyway. Like, we don't know if she calls him the Croat, at least not that I remember.
No, and I feel like the problem with the Dama is we got 73% of a character. We didn't get the last 27%, and I wanted that last 27%. We got close. But we didn't get enough of a character for me to care that much that she's off the board.
Yeah, exactly. I might be wrong about something.
Go on.
I'm looking at the IMDb page for this episode, and it looks like there is actually a character named Mila, Mila. But I don't remember a character named Mila popping up in this episode at all.
Nor do I. When I think of Mila, I think of Once Upon a Time.
So I don't know.
According to the subtitles, she was calling out Mile.
Mile, yes, because sure. I watched that scene with subtitles as well.
And I kept on thinking Mile.
Yes.
But it's Mile.
That's how I remembered it.
Yes. Ditto.
So I don't know. Maybe I don't know who Mila is.
It's Dama, and she was extra crispy, so it could just be that last moment of consciousness on Earth. But I'm gonna miss her. I am. She was a fun level of batshit crazy.
Mila was the wife of Christos, so Dama was definitely not yelling to her.
Sure.
Mile was his name.
Interesting.
Oh yeah, I'm on the Walking Dead wiki right now.
Nice.
And it lists the Croat as Mile.
All right, there you go.
So she was saying we were right. Our impression was right,
folks.
Yes. So it she was yelling his actual name.
Son bitch.
And then the only other thing I have left on the note, which was the most choreographed element of this entire episode, Negan killed the rat.
I mean, you can telegraph anything you want, but that obviously
telegraph, not choreograph. That's
it's okay.
Yeah.
I was just going to slide it in there, and then you had to correct yourself. It's fine.
Yeah.
Here's the thing: they don't have to insult us. They do not have to show us Negan cleaning his boot. I feel like we're good. We know what happened there, and I felt a little talked down to by showing Negan cleaning out his boot. What did you think of that?
No, I mean, I knew when we saw the rat dead.
Of course.
I'm like, okay, yeah.
Obviously, it was Negan.
Because we had a scene. Now, had we not gotten the scene earlier where we saw Negan peeking in and saw her talking to the rat,
yes,
then yes, clearly it would have been like, oh, who killed the rat? It was probably the Croat. No, we got the scene. We see him watching her talking to the rat. And then we get she treats a rat better than she treats you. So when we see the rat dead, of course it was Negan. We know that he needs to cause a friction or a fracture between these two characters. That's how he did it. He killed the rat. And it was telegraphed. It was predictable. But you know what? It led to the Dama's death. So
it was still fun. It was a fun episode. At the end of the day, by the time the last credit rolled, I was like, all right, that was a good time. Like,
yeah.
Halfway through, and I'll be honest with you, the second time was better than the first time, because the first time, all I could think about was how much I needed Lucia to die and just get off the board. So the second time I was able to really appreciate the lead up to that.
I know I bitched a lot this episode about the poor writing of that character.
Mm.
I'm happy she's gone.
Me too. Me too. Good riddance. Time of your life. I hope it's unpredictable, but
The character, not Dasha.
agreed.
The character.
Agreed. The character had to go. But
The character had to go.
amen.
So, but I mean, that's all I have
I think we nailed it
for this episode. So
we had some fun with timeline madness. We've got an edit and a sneak peek at the end, or
an outtake.
Thank you. Well done, Ben. We had fun.
Yeah, thank you. This was a good one. Yeah. Bit Monica Gallagher. Let's go into the breakdown of this week's episode. The Walking Dead, Dead City, Season 2, Episode 5. Wait.
There it is. I was waiting.
No,
Yep.
wait. Yeah.
No.
Wait.
The agenda might be a little wrong.
Yeah, the agenda's wrong. Sorry. Hold on.
Season 2, Episode 6, something about birds.
Wait, what?
This episode has something to do with birds. Hold on. The bird always knows. This is Season 2, Episode, I think...
It's 5. It's
it
Episode 5.
But it is The Bird Always Knows.
It's The Bird Always Knows.
The bird always knows.
Hold on. I'm actually going to edit this part out.
Okay, all right, fair enough.
Let me make a note where we're at here. This I can't leave this in. This is just too much of a mess.
That's a bridge too far. This
is just too much of a mess. All right.
Okay.
All right. Let me do this again. Hold on. Jesus, we're a fucking mess tonight.
We're having fun tonight. All right.
I know.
That's all.
All right. What is it? The bird always knows.
Always knows.
Okay. All right.
But it is Episode 5, right?
Yes, it is.
Okay.